Good morning and welcome to Sugar Melts. So this morning I've got, I think it's going to turn out to be a one-page wonder. Originally I used a couple scraps to make some of the pockets, but I think I've fixed it so it will now be all one page. So we'll try this. So here we are on the cover. I used an eyelid and some ribbon for the closure. We've got a pocket right in here. So right in there's a pocket. And then open it up and we've got a really nice flip out. Instead of using scraps, I'd actually used, you can use scraps of course, or another piece of paper, whatever you have laying around. But I used, I don't know if you guys have ever done those, what are they called, hidden or invisible paper clips. And so I just used one of those because they're super fun and easy, and clipped a couple of journal cards onto here. I've got some Post-it paper here that I've secured. And then this is the back flap, which can also hold, it's a couple inches, so it's a little narrow, but it can hold your paper, your receipts, cards, business cards and things. So perfect. And it closes like this. Perfect. And then we've got our wraparound. Okay. So that's what we're going to be doing today. The only difference will be that you can certainly, of course, use your paper clips, but I made it a little bit smaller going forward so that we'll have a couple belly bands. So it's a little more, you know, true to the one-page wonder. One-page wonder. So let's get started. Okay, let me get this out of the way here. Where can I put it? Because my workspace is so busy. Okay, put this stuff away. And so I'm going to use this beautiful sheet of fall inspired paper because it's November, but we still have leaves on the trees. I would have thought by now they would have fallen, and they haven't. So we're going to start by just cutting this into at the 6-inch mark. So we'll have two 6x12s at that point. And then we're going to go ahead and just cut an inch off of both ends. And yes, that inch will be the belly bands that we'll use inside the card. If anybody is interested in knowing how I did the original one without the belly bands, let me know, and I will, I could do this again where it's not a full one-page wonder-ish. Okay, well, let me move my cutting board and let's get the scoreboard out. Okay, so we'll set these two pieces aside till the end, and then look at your two covers, and then look the two pieces and decide which one you want to be the cover. Now I want this on the outside to be my cover, so I think I'll use this piece. I really like all the berries, so I'm gonna flip it over just so my my first measurement will be the opposite side of this. That'll be the cover. And I'm going to score that at, let's see, 4 inches. And then we're going to score at 7 3/4. So just those two. Set that aside. Pull back the next one here. Let's get it right side up. So we look at our berries, look at our leaves, find out what is upside down and what's not. Okay. And now because of, let me show you here if you're following along. So because of the way this is, so the first piece is this, and that pocket is made by the second piece. So you may want to flip your paper. Do you know what I'm saying? Upside down. I don't know that I want to do that. I still like all of that on the outside. But just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So we're going to first score for that pocket on the front, which is at 2 inches. And then I'm going to give myself just a 1/8 of an inch, just a little bit of a spine there. And then we're going to go out to 6 1/8, 6 1/8, and then 8 5/8. So 8 5/8 is you go to 8 1/2, and then you go up that one small little line there. Small little line. So this is going to make that small flip. It can either be a flip, it can be a pocket, it can be a tuck spot. Lots of different choices there, what you do with this on the back side. Okay, that's all. This is going to come together really fast. So let's get our bone folder out and get all of our creases. Okay, and this will go here. Perfect, so that's the cover. And this, because again, we've got that 1/8, or that just 1/8 of an inch. So I like to do one of those folds backwards, just so that it's easier to get in there. Otherwise it can be a little tricky to make that fold, and it helps if you start in the middle and start on the opposite side there. And go gently, you don't want to crack the paper either. So there we go, so we've got that. That's gonna make our pocket. It's gonna go like this, and we can do a thumb notch if we want to make sure that's visible, because they look a lot alike. So some of you may want to use like a contrasting paper. It would make it a little more obvious, but I like the bright leaves and the bright berries, and I don't want to do anything that covers that up. So, okay, and then here's that back pocket. Super easy. Make sure I folded that really tight though. Looks like I may have, let me just straighten that out. Not a big deal. There we go. Okay. If you're going to leave this, so this back pocket here, so this is how it's going to go together, right? So we'll do a thumb notch so it's a little more obvious where that is. This is going to open up. We'll have this flap here. That will be glued in there. And then we'll have this. So this can be a pocket. If you wanted, you could fold it back in. You've got lots of different choices there, what this will look like for you. I like it just folded in like that with a little tuck spot. So I probably am going to, let's go ahead and just round that corner. I'm not going to, oops, sometimes this thing, there we go. I don't know why, sometimes it just doesn't round very well. And then I'm going to go ahead and round also then these front pockets. That might help make it a little more obvious what's going on there. Perfect. And then we can make a little divot there. You can use just a round punch, like one like this if you want. You could just use ink. I'm going to go ahead and use my envelope board, envelope punch board, and I'm going to go right to the middle, 3 inches, and cut that out. That's the look I like. So it gives me another reason to use my envelope punch board. Okay, so this is where we're at now. So again, it's not showing up a lot, but once we leave something in there, it may be a little more obvious. Okay, so we've got these two that we'll be using maybe here, in here for belly bands. The other thing to think about using would be, again, scrap paper, another sheet of paper, you can use paper clips, regular paper clips. I've always got a bunch of paper clips around. I love these really big paper clips, and I love the kind of the invisible paper clips. I don't know if you guys have ever made these. These are really pretty and super easy. Oh my gosh, talk about a great use of scraps. Okay, so we're ready to go ahead and assemble this. I mean, it comes together that fast. So with this, I gave us that 1/8 of an inch there. It's just a smidge, so the paper, as it gets bulky, it will still be flat in there. Okay, so I like to put the the glue right in that spine, just like that. And then I'm going to, oh, it's kind of volcanoing out there. That is an interesting look going on with my glue right now. Not sure what's happening over there. Okay, and because it's liquid, I've got a second while I'm watching my glue overflow. Not sure what's happening there. Looks like I'll have another project to deal with that in a little bit. Okay, we're just going to give that a second. What I should have done here while I'm watching my glue overflow is I'm going to go ahead and secure down the top and bottom of this pocket. There we go. That's going to help that stay in place in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to glue this though at the bottom. I don't want all of it glued down. That just further limits what I can put in. It's only a little over 2 inches as it is, so I don't need to take any more space away from that. Okay, so I mean, my gosh, how pretty is that? It already kind of comes together super fast. You can see I'm a little heavy-handed with the glue there. That's okay. It's going to dry. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, let's go ahead and put our belly bands in. I may want to corner around in here too. I don't know why. Just seems like the right thing to do. Just seems like it. There we go. It just softens it a little bit. I'm not going to corner around on the outside though, just because then I'd have to corner around out here and that gets a little bulky. So we're going to leave it just like that. Let me go ahead and put these belly bands in here with my volcanic glue. Oh dear. I make a cold process soap, and every now and then I love watching the videos, and somebody will have a recipe and they'll have, there's a couple of ingredients that if you put too much in there, like castor oil, will definitely make it volcanic. So gotta avoid that. So, but if you make soap, yeah, you can run it through a soap calculator, which I always do, but it doesn't say, hey, that's going to explode. They don't tell you that. It's a great calculator, but it does not tell you about explosions and ricing and all those other fun things, because it's science. Cold process is definitely science. Okay, so let's see. Oh yeah, so that's all better. So I'm just going to put some paper in here. This is just some tall Post-it paper that I like. I get this from Zazzle. It's got all kinds of different vintagey textured kind of patterns. I love that. Okay, so then we can go ahead and put this up there. Let's see what else we've got here. I've got some more journal cards I'm going to stick in here. Let's see what we've got. This one might be a little too, yeah, that's going to be a little too big for in there. Let me get my cards here. Okay, let's see what we're going to put in here. There we go. So we can put those in there like that. And that closes, and then we're going to put, I can put some little tags in here, some small ephemera. That's going to fit nice right there. And again, if you want to use a paper clip, it would be a great location right here on the back. The invisible ones are super awesome. I love these. Just slide it in here. Oops, just slide it in just like I'm saying. And it's not happening. Come on, Lori. Oh, sometimes that paper does get a little tight. There we go. Ah, perfect. So now I've got that in there. So I've got another place that I can secure. See, perfect. It doesn't come out. I love those paper clips. Those are the best. Okay, so there we go. So, I mean, right there, you've got this beautiful one-page wonder, but let's go ahead and do a closure. Okay, let's set all these to the side. And let's see here. Okay, let's do a closure. So I'm really liking the red, and I just got this new red ribbon. I was looking at the green, but it's a pretty bright green. It's a little overwhelming for the paper. And then I have the gold, but that's actually what I used on my first one. So I'm going to use the red. Okay, so let's pull some of our cards out of the way. There we go. And then let's just go in here. We're going to look for the middle spot. And let me make sure my pocket doesn't get in the way. No, that's not going to get in the way. And that's going to be right here at 6. Okay, so let's just get that hole in there. Perfect. Sometimes they don't punch all the way through. That's okay. Yep. And then pull out one of these eyelets. Maybe that one? Or should it be darker? That'll be fine. Okay. Push that through. Perfect. That's gone. And so get our crocodile lined up and in the right direction. These come together so fast. There we go. And then this can be done several ways. The way I did it this last time was I just did I pulled it through, tied a knot, and then did a wraparound, which I really liked. So let me find my little tweezers, just in case it doesn't go through like I hope it will. Sometimes it, oh, well, that went through great. I love this new ribbon. This new ribbon's gonna work out great. Okay, so then I'm just gonna tie a little knot. I probably could cut this, but where's the fun in that? So I don't need it quite that long. Just keep threading it back till you get where you want it. Oh, that looks nice, right like that. So then I'm just going to tie a knot here. Perfect. And then I'll do my wraparound. Whoops, a couple times. There we go. And draw it off. And there we go. Super fast, super easy. You just get that around. Actually, let me put my little cards back in here. I had it right in front of me. There it is. How pretty is this? And it's a one-page wonder. Super fast and easy. Hope you all enjoyed today's project. Talk to you soon. Bye.